Hello and welcome back to National Busways West Scotland, where today we're looking out over Hamilton, a part of the map that we did a lot in Hamilton, and then we completely forgot, well, I completely forgot about it, and we are returning to Hamilton to not forget about it. And we're going to not forget about it in the form of 3 new services within Hamilton. The 254 to, I actually need to get the names of these estates up. I'm good at prepping for my videos, guys. Definitely. Okay, oh, that's easy. Oh, no, it's not. It's not what I thought. I thought it was Michelirnek. It's, Brackenhill Park down here, which is a very new estate. Oops. Considering that this is, set 20 years ago. Then up here is Torheads, and that'll get the 255. And then the 256 will go up to, what are you called? To Hillhouse, up here. So, yes, we're going to be serving, just to repeat that, that's going to be Brackenhill Park, Torheads, and Hillhouse, connected all to Hamilton Centre. So, I think, without further ado... actually, no, not without further ado. Let's just go over what we've got here, first of all. That's the 235, which doesn't go through Hamilton at all. No, what is the 235? Wishaw Hospital, through Garrion Bridge to Larkhall. I was just thinking to myself off camera, what is the route that goes through Garrion Bridge? Because I'd completely forgotten. It's the 235. Good to know. But in Hamilton we have the 250. Oh, what's that done? This game is weird. 250 Hamilton to Strathaven. That is the main route from Hamilton to Strathaven. It goes through Fernigate, Allentown, Larkhall and Stonehouse. Just around. Then there's the 251 from Blantyre to Larkhall. The 252 from Uddingston down to Larkhall. The 253, which is the direct route through the countryside towards Strathaven. And then we skip a few, and we get the 257 to West Craigs, the 258 to Little Earneck, and the 259 to, which is across town from Whitehill to Michelirnek. Then there's the 261 from Hamilton to High Earneck, and the 262 from Hamilton to Hamilton Heights. So, to that network we're going to be adding the 254, 255 and 256. So let's get our suburban or local route colour code. You can tell I've had trains on the mind. If suburban is local, it's definitely not quite the case with the bus. And this is going to be the 254. Hamilton to... 254 was going to be... Brackenhill Park. And this is going to come out of the bus station, go straight down this way, and then come this way, meet up with the routes that come down here, and then go... No, it's not going to do that. It's going to go this way. Follow this route down to here, and then it's going to pop into Brackenhill Park like that. Not super direct, but you'll see my genius. You will see my genius. There is the 254 from Hamilton to Brackenhill Park. I think you can see my genius about to come through if we've sent the 254 this way to overlap with Torlands, and the 255 is going to go that way. So we get a double frequency bit here. You know? Just little ways that you can tie routes together to make them work a little bit more effectively. And the 254 is now in place between Hamilton and Brackenhill Park. It looks like a very... it doesn't look like a particularly complex timetable, and that is very, very deliberate, because the this route is going to interwork with the 255. There we go, that's what I want to say. Because of how the journey time is. If I go to the weekday, Hamilton bus station, take this 5:35, it gets to Brackenhill Park at 5:51 to take out the 5:55, which gets back to Hamilton at 6:11, and there isn't one until 6:35. But exactly between them, we could squeeze a 6:20 to Torheads on the 255. So that's what I'm going to do. This route will interwork with the 255. And this is going to go from our brand new garage, Hamilton Shed 2. So, that is the 254. Next is the 255, which is going to go a similar way coming out of Hamilton and then into Torheads rather than Brackenhill Park. So let's get this set up. 190th route of the series. We're getting close to the 200 route mark that we passed a while ago now on the south coast. So this is the 255 Hamilton to Torheads. I don't know why that name is pluralized, but you know, weird. But that'll go from there, and it'll come out like this, the same way that the 254 does. Until here, then it diverges, but post me will take care of that, if he doesn't mind. And there is the 255 from Hamilton to Torheads. So again, this one is going to be just over half an hour return with timing points. So with a little bit of time at Torheads, it should have time at Hamilton to interwork with the 254. That interworking should go quite nicely. On Sundays, both of these routes run every 45 minutes. So yeah, they're not going to be the most frequent services in the book, but most of them duplicate other routes a fair bit, or just don't go through particularly busy parts of town. So I am not too concerned about busyness. So they're actually going to use the DS type rather than the DX, which we have been using in Hamilton for quite a while. Or in fact, it makes up all of our single deck fleet here at Hamilton. But anywho, timetable time. Right, so the 255 now has its timetable. Not really showing it off because again, it's a really simple one. But that, you know, runs to Torheads fairly direct. It's not as indirect as the 254. But next is going to be the 256. And that's going to run up here to, I've forgotten the name of it, Hillhouse. And the 256 is going to be probably run with DXs, because it's going to have a fair bit of time in that estate running by itself. And I'm probably going to do something a little bit more interesting than what I was going to do. Which is turn it back here, because there's a turn back point there. What I'm instead going to do is turn it around here, turn it here, here, and here, and have it do a little circuit. But yes, the 256, Hamilton to Hillhouse. Which, again, I've set up way too early as a time-lapse. 256, Hamilton to Hillhouse. There we go. Let's get bus station stop. Well, they don't call them stops in Scotland, they call them stances, don't they? Yes, I don't know why. It's a stop, or a stand. Anyway, we're coming out the classic way, so that we can come down this road. Which I believe is the correct one? Yes, it is. Good. And you know what, I'll keep you with, so I can show off my funny routing. Because we love a funny routing in this house. It's this. We're going up this way. Not like that. Or like that. That's too funny. Don't get too silly. See, we're going to go up this way. Or actually, no we're not. We're going to get a little bit sillier. I know. And I will put the terminus at the turnback. So that's going to say Hillhouse. But then we're going to go this way, pop onto the main road for a moment, then back in. Apparently this is Udston now. I did not subscribe to the fact that this was Udston. Anyway, we're then going to go back down the main road, just fling the bus home. And as we approach Peacock Cross, the question becomes, do we go around the outside and in, or do we go directly in? And I think we go directly in. So I'm going directly in. And we'll put that there. Very nice. Where's that gone? But yes, that is the 256, Hamilton to Hillhouse. And that might use DXs. Probably will. I imagine that this estate's quite busy, so every 15-20 minutes with DXs should do quite nicely. And the 256 is now ready to go from well, where was I going with that? I'm really good at this. The 256 is now ready. It's going to run up to every 15 minutes during the week, although its high frequency operating hours are not particularly long. And on Sundays it has very short operating hours where it runs up to every 22.5 minutes. Which is 2 timetables that each run every 45 minutes stacked on top of each other. So that's good to go from the brand new Hamilton Shed 2, which is the same building as Hamilton, because I imagine that's quite large. I'm going to activate it now, why not? Oh no, that was a bad idea. Because there's still some left of today. Oh dear. Oh well. Let's buy some buses and then I'll bring you back when we have something to look at on Sunday morning. That means it won't be the first run of the 256, but it will be an early one nonetheless. So, first I need bus drivers because it's a brand new garage. Sort by friendliness. Just make people friendly. We want friendly bus drivers. Because I imagine the people of Hamilton are very nice. I'm sure Hamilton's a lovely place, really. In before it's a dump. But then again, I live in a dump, so I would know. And Hamilton's just not really serving dump. Right, 39 drivers. That's more than we need, because our PVR's like 10 or something. Something like that. I know the vehicle requirement of each route individually on the 254, 255 is like 2. So I'm going to get 4 of the little ones, and then I need 4 of the big ones as well. So let's get a Dart, a little mini Dart. There he is. No premium seats, no PIS. And it's going to be a DS type. And we want 4 of. Let's import repaint, because I have some. And it's capital country again. What a tease. What is my cat doing? My cat is behind me. Everyone say hi to my cat. Glasgow. DS type, Hamilton, new image. You know what, that alignment's not as bad as I feared it was going to be. But yeah, this is the DS type. The new image livery looks weird when you have the like separate window glazings. National Busways would definitely be one of those companies that gets the windows full all the way through. What are you're clawing at my chair? She's clawing at my chair. To be fair, it probably feels very nice to claw against because it's it's maquette, not like pleather or like whatever normal desk chairs are made of. Because it's been ripped out of a class 323. Anyhow, yeah, this is the DS type. Isn't he pretty? In the new livery, and you know, garage code and legals and whatnot. It's a very pretty bus. So there's 4. Love them. Incoming call from Barnhill, sure. Yeah, they look very, very nice. I moved the logo up here. I'm not too sure about that. But maybe that'll be a Hamilton quirk. When it comes to these buses. Solar buses, because we want the big dart. That's the SLF, not the SPD. There's the SPD. For some reason, the SLF is an 11.3 as well. I don't think they ever made those. I also want 4 of these. I have a cat on my lap. She's jumped up, and it's very cute. And this is the DX type. Looks so much better with the, you know, the solid glazing. And again, the alignment issue is the same, but it's not as bad as I feared it would be. But the texture's the textures are a bit condensed on the back, which is very weird. But the Dart, it's a very fetching bus. I do like the Dart. Plaxton did a very, very good job on the Pointer 2 bodywork. Don't climb on the desk. Don't climb on the desk. I know you want to be where I am, but no. There you go. She's lovely, really. Anywho. Okay, now she's climbing literally on my PC under the desk. This is just become, you know, what is Cam J. Cummins' cat doing? But anywho. We have darts. I forgot the silver headlight surrounds. You know what? Maybe this batch doesn't have those. Maybe this is a weird batch. Anywho, this is going to say Hamilton. And it's going to say HM. Fleet number is going to be DS. Ooh, we're on the 54 regis now, and the MPD became a thing in like 98 or something? So this is going to be like DS. Let's go with DS375 because that's a nice number and it makes me happy. License plate is going to be SN54 OKG. You are going to be fleet number DS. Not of those yet. DS 376 SN 54 OKH and etc. There's not many of these to go, but I will still do the courtesy of cutting out my faffage. And finally, we have SN 54 OKO. No, we don't. It's OKP. Better known as DX214. Because you cannot be SN54 OKN. You're okay. But there we go. This is just a little batch of buses for Hamilton. This is where this batch will end. It's just going to be a weird batch of 8 of 2 different types for each. But yeah, the DX is adapted to this livery really well. It looks very, very smart indeed. But anywho, no shifts for today, which is nice. For tomorrow, however, this depot, I'm good. Let's see how it does. That's a DX type. I'll just let the game do it. Oh, hang on. Hold up. I need to activate the 254 and 255. I do. There's the 254. So yeah, a little bit of a recap then. The 254, Hamilton to Brackenhill Park, goes via the top. There we go. Well, via the top, it's more like the middle. Because, like, the top of Hamilton's, like, way up here. So it's, like, you know, it's still quite far down. But you know what I mean. Of the 2 routes, it is the more northerly one. And then there's the 255, which takes a slightly less southerly route than I had initially thought that it took. But it is more southerly than the 254. And they cross over here, which provides a bus roughly every 15 minutes into Hamilton via their routes. And a bus into Hamilton from either side of the road. Right, so first off, we don't have enough buses, so I need to work this batch up a little bit more. I'm probably going to get 2 more DSs and 2 more DXs. And we're short a bunch of other buses in other places, which is weird. So yes, 2 more DSs, 2 more DXs, and then I get to show you what's happening on the 254, 255 and 256 on a Sunday morning this time. And now it's time to join the first 254 from Brackenhill Park to Hamilton. So this is a Sunday, and on a Sunday the 254 and 255 don't interwork. That's a weekday thing, and it is currently a Sunday, so we don't get to see that. What we do get to see is the fact that this bus is half full before 6 AM on a Sunday, and that terrifies me. Like, have I just made a grave mistake going for the DSs? I hope not. I really hope not, because I like the DSs and I wanted Hamilton to have a nice variety in vehicle size. Really, it would have been nice to get a 10.2 or a 10.7 meter Dart, but we don't have either of those. Because again, the SLF, in quotes, that we have is an 11.3 that didn't exist. But anywho, we are leaving to head back to Brackenhill Park at 6:05 and we'll arrive at 6:21. So, 6:05, there we go, on our way back to Brackenhill Park. And we are very full. Very full. It is 6 AM on a Sunday, we're heading out of town and we're in the red. That's gone less than spectacularly. But oh well. We are coming down past Torheads. There's Torheads. And turning into Brackenhill Park, where we'll end things off. Right. We passed the 255 a while back. So, I'm going to go to the 256 after the game's had its moment. Right, so this has gone incredibly well for this bus. It wasn't there and then it just sort of flew across the map, ignoring all the roads. But we now have something on the 256 flying through this estate. And yeah, DXs were needed for this route because, wow. Like, seriously, this is busy. So yeah, DX definitely needed on this route, but a DL would have done better for the 254 and 255. A DL would have been the 10.7 meter version, which again, we don't have. We only have an 11.3 meter with an SLF style of bodywork, which really doesn't make it an SLF because it's just different windows basically. What? Huh? But that's what that was doing, so... You know. This is a 255. We missed it coming out of Torheads, but we still have it for most of its run. I will need to fix the 256 off camera, because that's embarrassing. But anywho, these buses are very, very busy. Very busy indeed. But it's nice to see the new image identity spreading across the map. I will need to get more of these done, because they are going to look very nice indeed. And I've got an idea for route branding that doesn't involve squishing things onto the rear end. It involves something on the front end, which I think I can make look quite fun. But yeah, I will show you that when the time comes. In the meantime, I'm going to go to the garage, which you do by hitting escape. I've been playing this game for how long now, and I still don't know how you get back to the garage. But anywho, here are two of our DS's, and I think on that note, I will see you next week from National Busways, West Scotland. Bye bye.